That's a direct order. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Welcome to Roll Call Black, Blue, and Brown for Better Relations. I'm here with a few of our friends today. What? I say something bad?
Yeah, black, blue, and brown.
Oh,
You did it right.
You wanted to include
black,
yourself.
white,
I
blue.
hear you, man.
Black, white, blue for better relations.
Jim's not here.
But I hear you, Chief.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that.
All right.
For Mr. Jim. I got AC with us. I got Killer Dave with us. I got D Schoon. I got Jamel Stevenson. Got JT, Mr. Thomas. I got Jerry Barrows. I got Mark Matthews. I have Rich Jordan and our fearless leader, the Reverend Donald Butler, unfortunately is unable to join us due to prior commitment. We do want to say that today is his 20-year anniversary of retirement and of also being a pastor for 20 years. So congratulations to Don. As usual, we have everybody in our prayers. Donald always takes care of all of us and includes every single one of us in his prayers. So everybody that's out there, just know that he's always praying for us. And I am also. I pray for everybody here, and I can't wait to be together with you guys. So we got a great show lined up for you today. Everybody on the show, you will be watching this later on YouTube. So whenever this happens, just know that you can always go to YouTube after about an hour after the show. We still do it at the same time. It'll just be on once we're done about an hour after. So always go view the show. Please tell your friends about it and try to catch it on YouTube. You can go back weeks, months, and catch all of our shows. Thank you. We got a great show lined up today. We're going to start off, just when we thought things were kind of calming down. This administration is stepping up again their enforcement as far as immigration.
Cheech, I don't want to interrupt you, but let's you mind doing the moment of silence, and then we can get the disclaimer and yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so used to doing it myself. I forgot that I'm supposed to give it to somebody. I want to do a moment of silence first. D.
Got it.
Thank you, D. That always hits hard to see these officers that unfortunately made the ultimate sacrifice and never made it back home. You know, everybody here always went to work with the intention of going back to your families, and these officers aren't able to do that. So very hard for us to see that. All right, we want to start off with our disclaimer from Jamel, and then our statement of purpose from Rich.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad everyone could be here with us today. Please note the comments and expressed concerns made by members of the Roll Call Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations, known as Roll Call, are the opinion of the individual and not offered or intended to be legal advice, recommendations, or suggestions for listeners and observers. This panel may display graphic videos or photographs that are integral to or spark discussion. These videos or photographs are not intended to offend any viewer or listener. A panel member will give notice to the audience as to its nature prior to displaying any graphic or sensitive video or photograph. Any graphic content displayed during the panel discussion has been obtained and shared from public social media platforms and is not the property of Roll Call. The language used by members of Roll Call and guests is spontaneous. It is uncensored and not intended to offend the audience.
Thank you, Jamel.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Once again, we're Roll Call Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. We're a pro-law enforcement group. We are for equitable policing. We're against racism, and Black and Brown lives matter. We come to you each week in an attempt to bridge the gap between law enforcement and your community. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Rich. AC, you got something?
Yes, before you get too far, I wasn't able to leave a message on Roll Call site. It wouldn't allow me to leave a message to let them know.
It's just,
So anybody else can-
I know, guys. I think he's got us on. I'm gonna check. I think he's got us on, so we may be on. I just saw a notification come up.
Right. Yeah, I saw it too.
All right.
Yes.
Well, if we are live, somebody let me know and check the chat so we can respond to any questions.
It does being live streamed.
We are live stream?
There was a note that said being live streamed.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mark. All right, we're going to jump right in. As I was saying before my little mix-up, ICE is back at it again. You know, trigger happy just because somebody doesn't have their papers in order. Take it away, D.
Okay, Rich. Yeah, another ICE shooting. Let's take a look.
In the wake of two fatal shootings by ICE agents in less than a week, this morning DHS ordering ICE to halt most vehicle stops. Multiple sources telling ABC News that ICE agents will receive new training on vehicle stops and that the current pause should be considered temporary. Additionally, a source says that ICE officers can conduct some vehicle stops during the pause, but only in the presence of local law enforcement who are trained to make traffic stops.
I'm confident they're going to get back to their policy of vehicle stops, but they're doing, what they believe is a necessary short-term pause just to look at it and make sure everything's good.
This as outrage grows over a deadly shooting in Biddeford, Maine, where 25-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero was shot and killed, even though he was not the intended target of immigration officers. Multiple sources tell ABC News the agent involved in the deadly shooting was a newly sworn-in ICE officer, but had been a law enforcement officer with the Department of Veteran Affairs since 2017. According to representation for the family, Guerrero had a Social Security number, as well as work authorization in the United States. DHS says Guerrero entered the country illegally in September 2023, but obtained a work permit in 2025. That representative for the family telling ABC News Guerrero was on his way to work.
He was in the process of going through an immigration process and had been given certain steps to be granted temporary, or at least, granted the process of the immigration system.
New video taken from a block away captures audio of the moment shots were fired. and video footage just moments after the shooting when agents stopped Guerrero's car with their own. Another angle showing agents surrounding him as he appears motionless. The agents were not wearing body cameras. The car's windshield covered in bullet holes. He leaves behind his wife and 3-year-old daughter who witnessed the aftermath of the incident. Just 6 days earlier in Houston, Texas, another fatal ICE shooting. Texas Representative Sylvia Garcia sharing eyewitness accounts from 2 men who were in the vehicle on the day 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was shot and killed.
There was no markings on the car. There was no siren, no lights, no cherry top.
Garcia says the 2 men told her that ICE agents did not identify themselves as they approached the van and that an agent fired a single shot through the van's open window, striking Salgado Araujo. Garcia also saying the accounts of ICE and the 2 witnesses she spoke with were almost like a different event.
Authorities in Texas say Salgado threatened agents with his vehicle, though they did not provide evidence, the FBI calling it an ongoing investigation. Here in Maine, Johann Sebastian Guerrero's family says they are processing this traumatic event and now face an uncertain future. Robin.
All right. I got David, AC, Jamel, and Rich. David, your mic is off.
You're muted, Dave. Unmute.
I'm good. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
We'll, this shooting, these 2 shootings, man. First of all, we're all getting lied to. Okay. Let's get this straight. In that big bill, they have billions of funding for ICE and everybody else. Okay. And they were supposed to get body cameras. Well, now, okay, some of them are wearing it, some of them are not. Okay, and now they're making car stops with no light, with no red bulb, no lights, no sirens, no nothing. Okay, we wouldn't even do that stupid shit in fucking New York City at night with no lights, no nothing, just try to pull people over. Okay, but and the way they shot the young man, what, twice in the head and a couple times in the chest, and right in front of his 3-year-old daughter, and then he wasn't the intended target. I mean, this is nothing but a hunt. It's nothing but a hunt. And that damn Stephen Miller is responsible for every drop of blood that spills. Stephen Miller, with his $3,000 a body a day count that he wants. Okay, the man down in Texas, that man builds houses for a living. He built his own house. And was on his way to start building another one with his own brother and another worker in there. And they're going to lie and say he tried to run them over, which you can clearly see on the video at the aftermath. Okay, their car is not even in front of his. The guy looks like he steps out of the side with his. I'm just talking about with the positioning of the car, the vehicles. He had to step out the side and shoot the guy right in the side of the head. Then they pull him out. Here's a kick in the ass. I used to hate when those cops in New York City did this stupid shit. If a guy is down and shot and he's down there shaking on the ground about to go out the picture, why the fuck are you handcuffing him? At least try to start CPR or fake like it. I used to hate that shit. I show up on the scene of a shooting, a cop shooting or something like that. Here the guy is with 2 holes in his chest, 1 in his back, okay, handcuffed. Where's he going? Fake like you're doing CPR.
Yeah, please.
If you don't want to do it. If you like me, you do it. I did it to the guy I shot. I didn't think about handcuffing that guy. But he lived. But just the, people, man, the whole world is seeing this, man. This is nothing but straight fucking racism. Okay, and I'm getting tired of people in media shying away from that word. Okay, race ain't a card game, y'all. It's a fact. Okay, and we tried to tell people, man, if they want to do this shit to you, okay, what about the brothers and sisters who was born here? What do you think they want to do to us after you? Okay, I'm done, fellas. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. You're correct. But it looks like these guys aren't fully trained. I mean, we all know the first thing you do after a shooting is render aid. And that is not happening here. AC, Jamel, Rich, and D.
Yeah, we didn't see it too much on that video, but I've seen other videos where the car went around 4 times before they were able to stop the vehicle after they shot it. This is a prime example of why you don't shoot someone in a moving vehicle. You can't stop the vehicle. It's luckily it's going around in a circle. It wasn't going into somebody else's house or down the road to some building. It's no reason. There's no reason to shoot anybody. Well, it should be a reason to shoot anybody from into a moving vehicle. You shouldn't shoot to that. You definitely shouldn't shoot into a moving vehicle to see who the person is. If you don't know who you're shooting at, why are you shooting?
Mm-hmm.
Someone mentioned earlier that you're gonna say the car was, going after him. That's the old excuse. It's using it over and over. Reels are showing different. That's it.
Not only that, but you don't know if they have a child in a car seat in the back.
Shit, they don't care.
You're going off shooting somebody. Why? Over papers? Seriously? So now what? If you don't have a driver's license and you go to drive away, they can just shoot at you? Where does this stop? Jamel? You're up.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, our condolences, to the families of the lost ones. This loss of life was unnecessary and it could have been avoided. Again, just to piggyback, like what David's saying, ICE has gotten all this money from the government, for their training and their equipment. And, for these guys not to have any body camera, maybe it's intentional, who knows, they'll just keep saying, oh, we never got the funding for the body cam. I don't think they're in any hurry to be equipped with the body camera first of all. And again, I believe that this individual in the ICE enforcement officer, excuse me, in Maine, this guy, I mean, he's been on the job for a little period of time. He's been on another law enforcement position for maybe 7 years or so, but still, I don't think that he was trained properly enough to handle the ICE enforcement that he was hired to do. So here, we have individuals who's lost their lives because of equipment and lack of training. So listen, I just hope that the investigations will go out thoroughly and we'll get down to the bottom of that, exactly what has taken place and find out, who is at fault here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jamel. Rich and D.
Good afternoon, everybody. What we're witnessing is unjustifiable homicide by supposed law enforcement officers. That's what we're witnessing. I mean, when do you actually shoot at somebody, okay, who hasn't committed a crime? Or we're talking about, certain states you can shoot fleeing felons. But you have somebody that's like committing a crime and you decide you're going to shoot because for public safety reasons, not because you fit for your safety, because public safety. That's what they came out to. At first, they wanted to say the guy tried to ram with a vehicle. When that didn't stick, they just said, well, I shot him because of public safety. This is what they're getting away with. We had initially joked about the brown shirts and the Gestapo, but we're actually dealing with the Gestapo. There are no rules governing them. They do whatever they want, and they don't. Once they could have an unjustifiable shooting, they just disappear. You don't know which officer shot. They're not given, like in Texas, the DA down there said, we're getting no information. The feds will not give us any information who did the shooting, and we can't do anything because they're not cooperating. They decide they shoot somebody and they take over the scene and they take the cars and they just go. And we're at a point now where there's no regulation. There's no governing body. It's just ICE doing whatever they want, committing crimes, taking lives, and nothing's done about it. You know, and it's all this, red and blue blaming that goes down. Oh, we don't have body cameras because the Democrats don't want it. What? It's just, it's a sad state of affairs. And I hate to see law and disorder like it is now. People don't have any faith on calling police now because of the climate. People have crimes committed against them and they won't go to the police because they're scared about ICE. They're scared about being deported based on their status in the country. We're dealing with people that just want to live, not people committing crimes. I mean, going after the worst of the worst. Yeah, I'm all for that. But they're going after people who are in the system already. They may have come in illegal, but now they're going to the proper channel. They've gained roots here. They have kids. They have established lives. They have jobs. They have businesses. And ICE is just eliminating them. I mean, you can't get any worse than what's going on now. You know, and because it didn't happen to you, you don't really feel it as much. But to the people that it happens to, it's a crime against humanity. It really is. And nothing's being done about it. The outcry's there, but it's not strong enough. How many people are protesting everywhere? I saw a guy with a sign. He was holding up protesting and it said, if you want to make America safer, have ICE agents shoot each other. You know, that's where we're at. And, you know, I don't want to see agents shot. But, you know, who's that agent? Who's behind that mask? Is that a January 6er that got hired with 2 weeks of training, has got a gun to shoot people of color? Is that who that is behind the mask? Or is it somebody who's been in the job 5 years and they kind of know what they're doing to a degree? I don't know. I don't have any trust at all. And neither should you. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thanks, Rich. And you said something very important there. Fleeing felon. Some states you're allowed to shoot a fleeing felon. These are not felons. They have not committed a felony. They're going after people, like you said, that have their papers in order. Okay? He's backtracking and going, well, even though they submitted their paperwork and they're in the process, they came into the country illegally 5 years ago. Even though they have a Social Security now, they have everything in order. This is who they're going after. Another thing with that, and my cousin is a prime example of this, you have their addresses. Why are you stopping them and going after them once they're in their car and leaving? If you want to get them, my cousin was followed from his house. As soon as he walked out of his house and pulled off, they started following him. So they were already watching him. All right, surrounded him, broke his window, pulled him out by force. Why? Well, these are people that have papers in order, which means you have their address. You know where they live because they're trying to do everything the right way. But this is, I've said it from the beginning, it's a numbers game. You know, they 3,000 a day, whatever number that they've thrown out there for these ICE agents. So they're going out there and just trying to grab anybody they can. And it's, like you said, it's making law enforcement in general look bad. D, and then Mark.
Let me say really, really quick. We were able to get online. I guess our commander-in-chief got us online. So we are live on Facebook. I just want to say welcome to Isabel Jordan, Sharon Stevenson. We know who they are. Donald Coleman, Valerie Burris March, Ruth Caffey. Who else we got here? Karen Caffey, Ava, Melissa Sutherland Moss, Beverly Harrelson Wells, and Eric Jones. Welcome, and we appreciate you attending. And let me just say, a couple of you guys alluded to it. I'm gonna say it outright. An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Let's say what it is. That's exactly what it is. I taught. Well, first of all, I was taught car stops, and the car stop course that I had to take as a recruit was almost 12 weeks, and it wasn't in the midst of other training. You got in the car with a senior member and you stopped cars. You learned everything you could in the academy. 12 weeks. You got to know what you're doing. When you got out, you didn't get to stop cars for another year and a half. You had to be with a senior trooper, your FTO. He sat in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, whichever level of training you're with, and he stood right in your ear. Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of learning the car stops. We're in the TV where everybody thinks they can do a car stop. And I'm going to tell you, with 32 years of experience and as many car stops as I've done, I never had these problems. Tactics, ladies and gentlemen. There's a way to do car stops. There's a way to do traffic car stops, misdemeanor car stops, and felony car stops. This ain't it. There are many rules right from the beginning that are violated. That's why you have these problems. That's why you drag down the highway and people are driverless cars are going around in a circle 4 or 5 times. That's why you have it, because you have no tactics. I was happy because they said no more car stops right after this happened. They mentioned a few they were going to do, but they said no more car stops. And then some other person, which we're not going to mention, came on and said, no, let's keep doing the car stops. Think about that. You know they're not trained. This is as bad as it could get, but somebody still wants them to do it. Now, that guy didn't have 31 felonies against him, the guy, that poor guy. He didn't, he wasn't a convicted, at least civilly, rapist. He's not in any large file situation where he appears 9,000-10,000 times. That's not him. As a matter of fact, he was here legally, doing what he's supposed to do to get his citizenship. And this is the way you're deciding to treat him. So it has nothing to do with his citizenship. It has nothing to do with anything. It has to do with what one person wants things to appear to be. It's fear. It's fear. And I'm going to say it right here. I wasn't going to say it, and I hate saying this every week. You don't want me scared. You do not want me scared. I hope somebody clips this part and sends it to him. You do not want these 22 guys in this room and this young lady scared, because you got a whole nother problem on your hand. See, you're not trained. You don't know what you're doing, so you don't understand fear. I understand fear. And I understand how it is when I'm afraid. And that's not, I don't want nothing. I don't be nowhere around me when I'm scared. I scare myself and I go to bed because I don't want to be around. You're instilling fear because I know why you need to instill fear. The only reason you need to instill fear in people, because you're scared. You don't know what you're doing. We're seeing in Senate hearings, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody's qualified. We're just arbitrarily making decisions. And then we're stuck to those decisions. And if they're horrible decisions, we double down. That's what these how many people can you kill? Listen, I am the first guy through the door. And then y'all work what we know. I grab the shield. Come on. We going through the door. I'm the first guy through the door. I don't want to hurt nobody. I definitely don't want to kill nobody. So you got to think of the mentality. We're going to keep doing this thing that's ending people's lives, and it seems to be okay. There's something else in play here. And history has shown, this last thing I'm going to say, is when you got a bunch of people that are very, very afraid, and afraid of your, what was the word y'all used, Gestapo, you're going to have a whole nother problem in your hand. Oh, I'm with it. I am with it. If you want me to be afraid, and you want me to be afraid of the sworn law enforcement that they're not going to be able to do by the rules and books. I was going to grab the books because they're right here by my hip. They're not going to do what they're supposed to do, and they're going to come in here and hurt me. Okay. Okay. Know what you're going to get. And that's going to be, I don't know. They were going to shoot me. They were going to drag me in the car. They're going to shoot me outside of my car. They got no lights on their car. A lot of rules here. If you stop me with no lights, I don't laugh because it's not a laughing matter. But if you stop me with no lights on your car, now I want to know who you're talking to, because I'm trained. I'm not playing. I'm not playing road cop or TV cop. I'm a cop for real. If you stop me without lights in your car, and you're telling me I might lose my life, what option do I have? I don't have no option. You're going to kill me anyway, right? So what option do I have? My training kicks in, and now you're going to say I'm the bad guy. I'm going to have to be the bad guy. I want to be clear. I don't want to threaten anybody, and I don't want any, but I'm saying to you, you got to look at where we're going. Fear is a dangerous thing. Fear is a dangerous thing. And I'm going to tell you, you ever corner an animal? You ever corner like a little tiny animal in the corner, and you're 120 pounds bigger than him, and he's a feared animal in the corner? You're going to have a whole problem on your hands. That's all I got.
Thank you, D. And you're 100% right. They're going to run into the wrong person. Me being Latino, me having dealt with the gangs, me having been threatened by gangs, me having 2 drive-by shootings at my parents' house by gangs. If all of a sudden I get surrounded by cars with no lights and no sirens, yeah, I'm defending myself. So, yeah, it's going to get out of hand. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I just want to be real quick. Everybody made good points, good valid points. Rich said something I want to address. He said that ICE doesn't have leadership. Unfortunately, it does. And it's coming from the top, the orange guy. And he likes that stuff. And I'm sure it's wiggled down its way to where that's the way they were taught. They may not be able to say it. They were probably told not to express it. Trump, when he visited Suffolk years ago, said it. Oh, don't be so nice. Grab their head. Don't worry about putting it in the back of the car. Slam them in the car. That's ICE times 10 on steroids. So I just wanted to put that out. This is a guy who has no military background, has no police background, but yet he's smarter than all the generals. He's smarter than everybody else. Here's a guy who was born into money. He didn't come from garbage and make money and do all this stuff. So here's a guy that had it handed to him. And how is he smarter than everybody else? Here's a guy who refused to go into the military because he was scared.
5 times.
Okay, so this is the leader that, unfortunately, some of us have chosen, and now everybody else reaps what they've sown. And it's a shame. But ICE has a leader. And unfortunately, that leader doesn't know what he's doing. That's it.
Remember that, Mark. He says, if they hit their head, in the door frame when you're putting them in, that's okay. And the Suffolk brass was like, Rich, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I just have one quick statement to make. I didn't want to cut anybody off. In both these latest killings, the individuals weren't the target, okay, of their whatever operation we're doing. They weren't. This individual wasn't put on the warrant that they were going after. So they weren't the target. But you know what? They're still the target. because of their skin color and they happen to be in the area. And that's where we're at now. I mean, it's bad enough when they have a warrant or they have an actual purpose to try to get someone, but they're not getting those people. They're actually killing people that are just in the area. This is where we're at. You just happen to be brown or black or yellow or whatever your color is, and you're in the area. So now they can fuck with you because you're here. We're actually here for this, but that person's not here, but you're here. So their opportunities for targets are everywhere. And this is where we're at, but there's no governing body. And when I say, what I said earlier, Mark, was there's no leadership, there's no governing, there's no regulatory, there's no check and balance. There's no, if I do this, I'm going to shoot this guy in the car leaving. But you know what? I'm ICE. It's okay. We wouldn't dream of doing that. I mean, even with a felon leaving and the car's going away or he's running away, we wouldn't dream of shooting him in the back or shooting into the car. These guys are shooting willy-nilly at will. And they don't care who's in the area. They don't care who's in the background. They don't care there's a group of kids right to the left of where they're shooting. Poorly trained individuals with guns doing what the Orange Monster once done. And they get away with it with impunity because they have no regulations they have to follow and they're not held accountable. This is where they're at. So you wind up doing whatever you want when you're not accountable, where you're not going to be held accountable. You don't have to think about, if I do this, this will be a bad shooting and I'll be in trouble. I may go to prison. They don't think that. They just think, we'll just laugh back at the station or wherever we're located and talk about what happened and high five. And they don't even know who we are because we're behind masks. We don't have body cams. This is crimes that are committed with impunity. And this is a sad state of affairs that we're at. We're all law enforcement. We're all governed by rules, department policy and procedures, laws. That's what we're governed by. They're not governed by any of that. They're just concerned about how bad it's going to look in the media and the people are going to be pissed off. But they can't get us because they don't know who it is. And we're not giving them information. We just shoot people and we cover them up and we get out of there. And I just came back for that because it's just so horrifying when you're governed by the rule of law. When how the textbook that we had stuff we had to follow. It's almost like rules of engagement when you're in the military. You got to follow those rules. But what are they doing? They're committing war crimes, blowing boats up in the Caribbean, not giving shipwrecked sailors quarter. Oh, just kill them. They're getting away with that. And you got the headsets in charge of the military talking about checking your testosterone. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is where we're at with checking testosterone of soldiers? That's how crazy this is. We've gone too far. And there's nobody that's handling this. There's nobody to cry to. There's nowhere to run. Yeah, you can file a lawsuit, but if you lose your life, you can't. That's all I got, guys. It's just horrifying. It really is. Thanks.
AC, I see you got a finger up.
Yeah, there's been a brief hold on different stops that ICE can make now. They're just limited to certain stops, which is the only stuff they're supposed to be making in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So this is amazing how you're going to limit to only doing certain stuff on very serious situations in terms of level of crimes committed. That's the only stuff you're supposed to make it anyway. Why are you stopping somebody else?
To me, it seems that these are gung-ho guys that are trying to stir things up, and that's why they're doing these stops, because they want it to go south. They want to have a reason to pull out their weapon. They want to have a reason to fire that weapon, at least to me personally. Mark, you got your hand up?
I have mine up.
Jerry does.
Jerry.
Yeah, I do. All I wanted to say is I hear you all, but all of this is deliberate. Make no mistake about it. This is just deliberate, blatant. Yes. create chaos for real. Kill as many because sorry, white folks are intimidated by anybody who don't look like them, and most of them are worse than most of us. But anyway, I think it's all deliberate. You can say they're not trained. I think, in all honesty, they have been trained. They've been trained to do exactly what they're doing. It's deliberate.
And you know what sucks is that the public justifies it by saying, well, they're here illegally. You know, you try to tell them, hey, these are people that are trying to do everything the right way, that they're doing it. And then they you know, oh, well, they came in the country illegally. So they're committing it. So they were criminal right away because of that.
Can I ask
that hurts for you to justify that.
As a black person?
I think as law enforcement officers, we all agree that murderers and rapists, if you're really going after, like you said, the worst of the worst, those that have come here that are not, you know, doing anything good for the country and have committed actual felonies, that's fine. You know, that person put themselves in that position. But when you're going after people that are just trying to make a living, people that are trying to do everything the right way, and the public in general does not see that, you know. And then the flip side of all this is that it makes all of us look bad. It makes all law enforcement look bad because people don't know the difference now. They don't understand that ICE is not your regular everyday law enforcement, you know. So it's one big thing. Like everybody is the bad guy to them now. So it's making all law enforcement look bad. Mark?
So, Rich, I was being facetious when I said that. I was just pointing out that their commander in chief is the one who likes their tactics. I was being facetious. D Scoon, my man, he knows that when he's riding in his police car, he can't just arbitrarily pull somebody over. Okay, AC knows it. Jamel knows it. Rich knows it. James Thomas knows it. Everybody knows it. Why does ICE think they have more powers than the police? When ICE worked, and I've worked with them years ago, this is how they worked. We made an arrest. We found out that this guy had bad ID. He had so many felonies. He was so many warrants. He was on the list. We'd call up ICE. I said, you got him? Yeah. They'd pick him up from court after our court was done with him. Easy peasy, no confrontation. Guy comes out of custodial, out of custody, and then boom, ICE takes him and takes him to their facility. No need for car stops. No need for, oh, my life was threatened. No need for going to somebody's house, wearing masks, all that other stuff. That's when it worked. And it wasn't an issue. You never heard about ICE. The average citizen never even knew that ICE was notified and they were coming to get the guy because they were wanted for him. We would check. We would call up, hey, we got this guy, William so-and-so. Are you guys looking for him? Yes? No. Okay, he's going to be at district court at 1 o'clock tomorrow when he gets out. Boom, boom, boom. And that was it. Just a phone call. All this other stuff, it's done. And I can't, I know you guys are going to kill me for saying this. You got to understand ICE in this one aspect. They're put under a lot of pressure, unfortunately, because they were put under a quota system. So they're fearful, and therefore they're pushed to just get anybody. And there was an old saying back in the day, oh, driving while black. Well, now it's driving while Hispanic. Now it's driving while a minority. And if you're the wrong minority, you're going to get stopped. If you look like them, you can be as illegal as hell. They ain't going to stop you. But if you look like you got a little bit of melatonin in you, they're grabbing you. That's it.
Thank you, Mark. I don't know if anybody's checking the chat. We have any questions or comments? We good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right. So we're gonna move into our next video. We had unfortunately an inmate that escaped, and well, it didn't turn out good for the officer.
So yeah, we have a couple of corrections guys on the dais, and we always talk about how hard their job is, because this is an everyday thing. This one actually went wrong. Let's take a look. A few seconds, it's going to be quiet because of the cam.
Hey, Cheech, is this the proper way to do this?
No, his arms are up too high.
Okay, I thought so.
You gave him too much slack.
Turn your back on
Turn
him.
his
too.
back on him.
Yeah.
Why is there only one? Why is there only one correction officer?
Right. He keeps turning his back to him.
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
It's a fatal mistake.
Yep.
Did anybody hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, JT, budget cuts.
Budget cuts. Short staff, JT.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that money went to
But he's got
billionaires.
his back to him.
Look at this guy. I mean,
just let him walk.
Why is he? Are you kidding me?
I've never let a prisoner walk alone. Always had the arm. Always guiding them where I want them to go. Turn my back on them? Never.
Right there. Right there.
Right there.
Jack him.
Back for him again.
Yeah.
Complacency.
Mm-hmm.
Complacency. Yeah. This guy is too comfortable. He's thinking about dinner.
He's lucky to get that far without being taken out. I remember those doors.
All right, trigger alert for anybody. Just next part of the video gets a little wild.
Can it get any worse?
Oh yeah.
Right, headbutt him.
There it is.
Right there. Right there. That's
it.
What is he thinking? What is he thinking? What is he thinking?
Killed him.
What the heck was he thinking?
This should be a training video for corrections.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
So we got somebody leaving this jail. Take it off in the sheriff's wagon. Get it! Get him! He's busting his way out through the gates. I got a jailer down in the salad port. Send help. Sir. Direction of travel. He left the entrance to CJC. Can you have someone from inside come outside into the bay? He appears 10-0. Start a medic.
10-0.
Deceased.
Wow.
Oof.
Dumb, 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 dumb.
All right. Oh, that was tough to watch. So many things that went wrong there. I don't see any hands. I'll tell you right away. A lot of things went wrong there from the get-go. You left them too much slack. You have your arms are supposed to be right down against your body. This way you have no slack whatsoever. Right. You have a little bit of slack, you know. That was just terrible. You know, turning his back on him
from the beginning. From the
I mean, all right, you were short-staffed. You still do not let an inmate walk behind you. You know, walk that way. Turn and face the wall. Stand right there. Don't move. You keep your distance, and you direct them where to go and what to do. It did not appear that was going on in this situation. So that officer, and he wasn't a new guy. You know, I don't know what he was thinking. The one word I come up with is complacency. You know, we get so used to the routine every day, you know, and a lot of the time everything goes smooth, but that one chance, that one moment, you can't let your guard down ever. And he did. And it cost him his life. I got Jamel, JT, D, and Dave.
Yes. Listen, I don't like to be doing Monday morning quarterbacking, but here we've witnessed the death of an officer, falling in the line of duty. There was just so many things that I believe that that department should be doing refresher courses in, because that officer, it just appeared that he was just so complacent and just so blasé about his line of work that he let this individual get the upper hand on him, and it cost him his life. And unfortunately, yeah, there should have been some other personnel somewhere from the time that he was escorting this guy from the initial facility to the next one. I didn't see anybody. I mean, they may have cameras there, but there was no live body there to give this guy any type of assistance. Listen, our condolences and prayers go out to the officer's family. That's something would take some time for them to get over, but unfortunately, I just believe that the tactics that this officer went about during that day, it just didn't aid to him to have a successful day. That's it, guys.
Thank you, Jamel. I got JT up next.
First of all, what state was this in?
D, do you know?
Sure.
Let me give me a sec. I think Missouri. I think it was MSP. But that was the name of the sheriff's department. I'll check.
Oh. The facility didn't have enough money to have another officer. That's what we're saying.
Short-staffed.
Well, in my opinion, it's all bullshit. I hope the family sues the shit out of the correction company because that's bullshit. Since when do you have one-on-one with any prisoner? Imagine if we had one-on-one taking a prisoner to Mineola. Me and my partner had two people in the back of a van, two handcuffed behind them. When we got to Mineola, one of the jerks had made his handcuffs come to the front. He jumped out running. We got property, another prisoner, and he's running. The good thing about it, I caught him over by J.C. Penney's, but it was a miracle. If he hadn't had such big feet, he was trying to hide under what they call him, plat thing they put stuff on. It was in the vacant lot. He had crawled under there, but he left his foot out. I'm not going to say what I did to his foot, but he hopped. And it's just not common sense. I don't care if we ain't got enough money. Wait till we have another officer. You can't take one-on-one. Just don't make no damn sense. Man lost his life because we don't have enough money. Bullshit. That's all I got for now.
You're 100% right, JT. D, and then Dave.
Yeah, JT, Marion County, Indiana. That's where that happened. We just talked about this in the other video. Tactics, man. I've been called the asshole and a stickler for tactics and wanting to go on training for everything just because I want to know. I mean, I used to ride motorcycles and I went to wheelie school. People say, because you want to pop wheelies? I said, absolutely not. But I want to know the capabilities of this thing in case I get myself in trouble. I want to know how to handle it. Same thing with law enforcement. We get all the training and we call it the complacent. And again, condolences go to that officer's family because we lost an officer and we never want to lose an officer. But complacency. And you thinking the cameras themselves, there's a thing going around, and you guys probably know it and feel it. People think because there's cameras, there's some kind of safety. Have you experienced that lately? Oh, there's cameras here. Well, yeah, but you gone. I know who did it. Thank you, but you gone. I'd rather you be here. So, always been a stickler for tactics. Some things I know, so you understand. That school's an asshole. I'm a curse for Dave. That's cool. Don't look at me. I never let them look at me when I'm putting stuff on them. If they know how they go on, they know how to get off. Am I the only crazy one? We never cuff people in the front. Never, ever.
Never.
People in the front. And if you had to, you use the belly belt. And they're cuffed in tight and to the front, and it's tight. It's going to be a little more uncomfortable. You'd wish you'd had it on your back because you can't move your hands from your waist. We always did go away. Don't let him see what we're doing. This guy was looking. I'm looking at him. We walking this way. He walking behind me. No. And has anybody here heard the word control? You got to control your prisoner. Anybody? Come on, Cheech, help me out. He don't walk nowhere when he's with me. I grab his forearm. I grab his upper arm. This way we going. It's uncomfortable, but it's supposed to be. You go where I tell you to go. So you're not as comfortable. And for this guy was walking around after he did what he had to do. He was hanging out, knew where to. You don't know where this. Listen. I wish I had a pair of cuffs here. There's so many holes in cuffs. Unless you watch where he's putting the key, you don't know where the key goes. It's not a keyhole. And if you double lock them, it's going to take you a long time to unlock. You know what I'm talking about. So you can't let them see these things. Complacency breeds what we saw here. And call it being an asshole, you're a stickler, you're militant. It only takes one time. I say this in my class. It takes one mistake, one time to be complacent, one time to not be on your game, and it's changed every officer there. That was an officer from another agency, if y'all noticed that pulled up afterwards. And had he not been coming out to book something or somebody in, he might still be laying there. Y'all realize that, right? And if the other officer hadn't been at the gate trying to open the gate to get out, who knows what would have happened. So I just wanted to say, we preach stuff because we all been through it. But complacency, you can't be complacency when you're on your job. I'm not friendly. I'm not friendly, but I'm not all these things. I have a job to do. We go from here to here. I carry you. I handcuff you a certain way every single time. It's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be. There's the mindset out there. These cuffs are too tight. They supposed to be tight. They ain't supposed to be comfortable. The reason I never had tight cuffs on because I never did anything to have the cuffs on. That's how you do that. We got to get out of this. We're in an area where we are the authority. You're the violator, and we have to keep it very clear at all times. I've bought dinner. I've held on to guys' stuff for them. I've taken care of guys' family, absolutely. But when we're doing our job, because here's the thing, y'all, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off this platform here. Let's say he just does something to me and gets away. Y'all see there's 12 other people in this room? You understand what I mean? Now, I have a responsibility to Rich's family, to Jamal's family, to Jerry's family. I got responsibility. I can't let him hurt me because then he's going to go hurt AC and Dave and JT. I can't let him do that. So I have to be on my game to where he's going to say, hey, that CO Schoon, he's an asshole. Yeah, but you got to where you had to get to and you got back in your cell. Well, I guess I got to be an asshole then. I guess asshole I am.
Mm-hmm.
And you live because I think I didn't think he made it either. I didn't find out the results, but it didn't look good at the end there. He didn't make it, and then this officer's dead. Why? Because we just not on our game. For what I say is a couple of seconds. You just got to be on your game for 2 seconds. 2 seconds change the whole thing. So that's all I got. But sorry to the guy's family.
Definitely.
Thank you, D. We're going to Dave, who's enjoying a nice cigar with an orange soda.
Some cool.
Hey man, you guys hit it right on the spot, man. JT, D Schoon, all you cats hit it right on the spot. And by the way, D Schoon, remember how you used to stand? Remember we cuff a guy up in the back and put him on a little tight, not too tight, but tight, and then you could steer him like a damn racehorse when you put your thumb in the middle of the cuffs in the back. Go that way. Steer him like a racehorse. You put pressure on one side of the cuffs, he'll go that way. Put pressure, he'll go that way. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, this gentleman, man, this officer man's family is suffering because of complacency. Okay, and by the way, don't people use ankle? Well, I used to use ankle shackles all the time too. What's up? You can't put ankle shackles. You remember ankle shackles? You had to shackle. You know, you're getting cuffs and shackles and shackles. Oh man, I'm not going. Oh shit! They got enough money to give to Trump in Indiana, don't they?
Yeah.
They got enough money to get the big ass tax cuts in Indiana, don't they? Okay, but the dumbass police departments up there are so busy kissing Trump's ass, they're suffering. Nobody's giving them nobody's giving them the support that they need. Okay, and then here they go lackadaisical shit. Okay, I don't give a damn if his ass look like goddamn CeeLo Green. I'm putting cuffs behind his back tight and his shackle his damn ankles. Okay? I don't care. Because let me tell you something. Who the fuck wants to go to prison for the rest of their life or for a long time? They don't give a damn about no cameras. They don't want to be. You know what I mean? It's like when you go to the Bronx Zoo. If you guys ever been to the Bronx Zoo, go by the grizzly bear exhibit. What the fuck do they do every time you go by there? They stand up and start fighting. I've been to that zoo 10 times, man. Every time the grizzly bears start brawling. Because they don't want to be in a cage. You stop being lackadaisical or being a hairbag or a 35-year hairbag. Ain't nothing going to happen to me. I got this. That's bullshit.
Exactly.
You got to think about your family. You got kids. You got kids at home. You got mother, sister, father, brother, whatever. You don't want to be that damn stat. And unfortunately, this man's family is going through it right now. And man, I feel so bad for them. And meanwhile, the perpetrator, he's still living. I'm done.
And just so you know, you do cuff in the back if you're just using cuffs. But if it's a body belt, then it's in the front. But it has to be tight. And that was the issue there, that he did not do that. He let him have his hands up, which gave him that mobility. His hands had to be right in front of his belly tight, and you pull on it to make sure that it's tight and wrap that belt around and it's shackled to your ankles. But that was not done here, and that's the fatal mistake. I got AC, Rich, and D.
Okay. I'm sorry for the family of the officers, and I think the sailor may have been killed also. I'm not sure. But this video is important. We were able to retire and get through our careers, but during that time when you go through, well, me personally, I've talked to other people who've gone through it also. You go through lows and you get lax sometimes. I know I had to do certain things every 4 or 5 years to make sure I really invigorated myself in my career and stop getting lazy, stop getting, you think, okay, I walk this way every day, so it's okay. I go to this alarm call every day, so it's not alarm. You can't get that complacent. And it's easy to happen if you're doing things over and over. Routine is the direction to danger. Nothing is routine. It may be cyclical, it may be often, but nothing is routine. So I'm saying this to say he was very wrong doing this. He lost his life. But this is use what we have now. This is a lesson to people who are going through this. I've every 3 to 6 years, I've actually sat down in classroom. I've gone through training all throughout the time. I've actually paid and sat down in classrooms to get more information about my job on the parts of the job. I'm not talking about the classes they sent me on. I've gone through different schools locally, took classes at night, or just to reinvent what I was doing, re-educate myself to get more involved in myself. Invest in me, become better at what I'm doing. And that keeps me. I've gone on many trips to Mineola, and before you know it, you're not realizing you're being so lax, and you just going over there not paying attention. I know I'm supposed to, handcuff in the back and make sure those cuffs are secure and double lock. And we, on those trips we went to, we didn't do cuffs. We didn't do ankle shackles. So we're going from our headquarters to a detention facility, a processing facility. So we didn't have the opportunity to do that. But it is very, very important. It's very important to make sure you take care of yourself by paying attention and doing your tactics correctly.
Thank you, AC. And you're 100% right. officers get complacent. You got to remember that inmates sit around all day watching you, and their job is to figure out what they can get away with. And your job is never do anything the same way. When you walk your beat, you change your pattern so they don't, oh, he always walks this way. He always walks at this time. He always does this. He always does that. They are paying attention. They try to befriend you so that you get complacent and be like, this guy respects me. I'm never going to have an issue with him. Bullshit. He's still a criminal. He's still conniving. And you got to remember that. But that's the problem, that complacency is a huge issue. Rich and then D.
Yeah, real quick. We're all saying the same thing. My big problem is, you know what those chains are called? They're called waist chains. So that means you adhere those chains to their waist where there's no movement. We've all said that. They're called waist chains. And the sad thing was, when that guy was down on the ground dead, all those chains were just laying right by his head. He took them all off because they weren't put on properly. And that was the fatal mistake. But the rest of my commentary is about the facility. See, when we would actually go to the jail, I would wait in my car before I parked to make sure the door closed. I'm watching the door behind me before I decide to go park. That's why he was able to escape. The door was left open. Whoever's in charge of the door should have closed that door, so he couldn't get out. Then, what he run through, like 3 gates or 2 gates? There should have been some kind of countermeasure for an escaping inmate in a vehicle. They had, I know about 4 different things that can be applied to stop that, which I'm not going to mention. But they didn't have that there. They just had regular gates you could just roll right through. That doesn't make sense. Okay? So I think there's a lot of fatal flaws here. The fact that they don't have the manpower to properly move prisoners from one location to the other is bad. And on top of that, lackadaisical, if I'm by myself and there's nobody else helping me, watching me, I'm doing everything 110%. It may seem like, oh, that's not necessary. Oh, this isn't necessary. But I'm doing all that. I'm going to be over the top, doing unnecessary stuff to make sure I'm safe. And just like Dee said, everybody else here is safe. Because of my mistake, it shouldn't be fatal for my fellow officers or just the general public. Because now he broke through 2 gates. He's a fleeing felon that doesn't care. He just committed a murder. One more murder is not going to make any difference. You see what we got here? You just let the bull out of the pen, and he doesn't care. And everything around him is a china shop. So it's just sad because a lot of times people are dying. You talk about FAFO. People just getting FO'd, and they didn't deserve it. They didn't try to find out anything. They were just living, and they're getting FO'd. But because people make mistakes, it causes other people to lose their lives. That's all I got.
Thank you, Rich. D, you want to close us out on this one and then cue up the next video?
Yeah, really quick. I just wanted to hit the comments real quick. I don't want to forget our very loyal listeners. Donald Coleman says, "You're right, Mark. All of you guys that I knew, I never heard about ICE until the orange guy came into power." That was about our last video. Donald also said, like Jamal said, he was thinking about what he was having for dinner. Unfortunately, he will not be having another one. Not a truer statement was said. And Eva said, "Holy S, she's a retired CO." And she said, "That's not even correction. That's not even correction one-on-one. In corrections, they don't do that." And I just want to bring something. We've seen it all the times. You put the cuffs on, and all of a sudden it might take you about a good 2 or 3 minutes to get them off. Do y'all know that's on purpose? We got some people, not us, y'all know, but it's on purpose. They're on in the way that even if you get the key, you're going to have a hard time getting, you're going to need somebody to help you to get them off. That's on purpose. So when I was watching him sitting there looking and watching and following and Cheech, 24 hours a day they're looking for you to make one mistake. 24 hours, they're just watching. They're watching every time you walk by the cell, every time, and they're waiting for you to make one mistake. Same thing we made arrest. They're waiting for you to leave a door open. They're waiting for you to not put the cuffs on, for you to say, "Oh, let me leave them on." You got them nice little pretty. Who had this? I know. Don talked about it. But you have them little pretty wrists. Let me not put them on too tight. And now you got to explain to the chief. Where's the chief? He's here. Why the police car got stolen? Now you got to figure that out. Ooh, there's a whole nother problem. So all of the things the training we do is by design. It might seem like, oh, those guys look like Keystone's cop. If it's hard for me to get them off of you and I put them on you, you don't know where the key's going to go. You don't know what hole it's going to go, which way it's going to go, to the right or to the left. If it's double locked, you got to click it on and click it off. You don't know any of that. But for you to sit there, and we saw him looking down. And actually, if you guys know the beginning of the video, he actually told him, no, don't put them on here, put them on here. I don't know if you guys saw that in the beginning of the video. I'm like, what? Oh, no, sir. No, sir. They go on a certain way for a reason. You want them comfortable. They're not supposed to be. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm going to set up the next video really quick. We had 2 law enforcement officers.
Hey.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
D, I'm sorry. I just jumped in. Real quick. How many of you guys had prisoners and they'd have the audacity to tell you, get your hands off me? It made you laugh. Get your hands off me. Excuse me? You'll know when I put my hands on you. Right now, I'm controlling you. And that is part of the job. Like, once you get arrested, I don't mean to sound harsh, but your opinion doesn't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you want your opinion to matter, don't get arrested. But if I'm arresting you and you may not agree with it, but that's what court is, but you're not going to tell me to take my hands off you. And like Dave said, sometimes it's just a matter of, I'm not holding you, I'm not bear hugging you. I just got my hands on the cuffs or on your hand to where if you make a wrong move, I should have enough warning to do 2 things: either push you away, give myself distance to deal with you, or snatch you in a hole. But for you to tell me, get your hands off me, I'm cuffed, get your hands off me. Sorry, bro. You sound like you're going to have a bad day today. Because if that's your biggest worry, you got problems. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Now, you're right, Mark. You tell them you are in my custody and control. Period. Yeah, D.
All right, let's see if we can get this next one in quick. Set it up. Let's just take a look.
All right, Aaron, thanks so much. You're developing right now. An off-duty Florence police officer is dead after being fatally shot by Boone County Sheriff's deputies. The officer has been identified as Dustin Zink. Brittany Harry is live in Florence with the latest on this investigation right now. Brittany, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Annie. So Kentucky State Police saying right now that this is an ongoing investigation, not releasing any information at this point about the investigation. This has really shocked so many people talking about Officer Zink online and sharing all of those kind words. I reached out to the Florence FOP today, and they say because this is still an ongoing investigation, they aren't doing any interviews right now, but did offer thoughts and prayers to Officer Zink's family. This is a photo of Officer Dustin Zink in 2022 shared by the Florence Police Department. It shows him with a care package from a woman he previously helped after the department says he went above and beyond to assist. And that's how many people are remembering Officer Zink right now. This comes after the Boone County Sheriff's Office deputies say they were called to the 8600 block of Layla Court in Florence on Friday for a domestic complaint involving shots fired. That's according to Kentucky State Police.
Caller advised the husband came out and shot the caller's car. I know I did it. And
When deputies arrived, KSP says they encountered off-duty Officer Zink showing a weapon while threatening both self-harm and harm to others at the scene. KSP says Boone County deputies tried to negotiate with Officer Zink, but those efforts were unsuccessful. Officer Zink fired his weapon multiple times, prompting 4 Boone County deputies to shoot, striking Zink. He was transported to the hospital where he died from his injuries. According to KSP, no Boone County deputies were hurt. The Florence Police Department says in part, Officer Zink's commitment to serving others extended far beyond the uniform. He dedicated his career to protecting the community with honor, integrity, and compassion.
Wow, it's sad. Jamel?
Are you on mute?
You're muted.
Thank you. Unfortunately, mental disease affects even police officers. And not sure what could have led up to the deterioration of this officer's mental ability, but, you know, we're all humans, man. And it could have been the rigors of the job. It could have been
They say America.
Could have been something domestic at home, but yet and still, even yes, police officers, sworn individuals of a law enforcement department, we too go through mental issues, and unfortunately, this officer's life, you know, it ended because of whatever he was going through, and again, our condolences to the family of that officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamel. Dave. You're muted, Dave. You're muted, Dave.
Oh. No, I'm not showing muted.
You good? You good now? You good?
Now you're good.
Okay. Yeah, Jamal, you're right on point, man. Mental illness is hell, man, for a police officer, man. You don't know what this man has seen in his life, what happened to him in his life, what he was going through at home, what he was going through on the job. And man, it was just like he just wanted to just end it. The pain was on his, the pain in his head and body was just too much for him to handle. And the cops who had to shoot him, what are they going through now? You know what I'm saying? So I'm good.
Thanks, Dave. Mental health is a huge problem, and as you can see, it affects everybody. You know, officers are human also. Mark, I see your hand just came up.
Yeah, real quick. I was in the gym today, just happenstance, and I was talking to this guy. Guy was telling me about his daughter. His daughter's working in the ER, and she's working with the babies. And unfortunately, one of the babies, she went downstairs to get something, and by the time she came back, the baby passed away. It wasn't her fault. You know, the baby was sick, but it just, so then she had to deal with that. You know, and I pulled him aside. His daughter wasn't at the gym, but I pulled him aside. I said, listen, I said, you know, I was in law enforcement. I said, I'm going to tell you this. I said, your daughter will probably not want to do it. I said, but she's going to see, especially working in neonatal, she's going to see a lot of deaths, and she's going to see a lot of bad stuff. And for a girl that's 20, 21, however old she is, it's going to be traumatic, and she's not going to see it. See that, especially with post-traumatic stress syndrome, a lot of times you don't see it. You don't feel it. It just happens on you until it's almost like the last straw that breaks the camel's back. You don't hear the crack. You just see the back break. So I told him, I said, listen, I said, tell your daughter, I said, and if you want to, I'll speak to her. And just tell her, you're starting this new career, you're in a bad situation, you're going to see a lot of bad things. Get yourself into therapy now. Even if you go once a month, just utilize it, because you never know what the impact is going to be. My sister was in the medical field. and she had to get out. She became a teacher because some of the stuff she saw, she said she'd come home and she'd be so depressed. So you're right. It can happen to anybody, and you have to prepare yourself. For our listening audience, if you have loved ones that are in a similar situation, they may not see it. Be protective of them. You know, being protective parent doesn't always mean something happens to your kid and you yelling and screaming. It's taking precautions so that child can deal with the things in life that are going to come upon them. So I just wanted to add that. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. All our listeners out there, 988. That is the suicide prevention hotline. You can also text HOME, HOME, to 741741. That's text HOME to 741741 or dial 988. Please do not be hesitant to reach out. We all go through things. It's not good to hold it in. Seek out professional help. And anybody here, I'm sure, is here for you if anybody needs it. I got D. You're up.
Yeah, I dropped my hand because that's what I was going to say. The I don't call it. I call it the self-help hotline, 988. Just want to make sure everybody had it, 988. And just wait, there'll be somebody at the other line. And if there's a process called a peer. So normally, if you happen to see somebody going through something and you really don't know what to do, and you're like, I don't want to call on them, I don't want to call somebody who knows what to do, somebody who is a peer who can handle it properly. There are times where I parked out in front of people's houses. He just know that I'm here. He ain't gonna do nothing with me out here. He ain't gonna do nothing with me in front of his house. So just to get him through, and a lot of times, and I'm not gonna get too much into it because I'm not a professional to that extent. But it's if you can get a person through that moment, go grab and get a cup of coffee, get them through that one. They might, because they're only thinking about that in that moment. Get them through that moment, and then try to get them some help. And if you don't know, call a hotline. They'll tell you how to get help. If it's somebody in this room, or hey, you can get to one of us, call us. We'll tell you how to get them some help. We'll tell you where to go. Okay. All right. Okay. I see Rich got his hand up.
Thank you, D. Rich, you're going to close us out on this, and then D, cue up a good guy video for us. Thank you. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, real quick. I think about suicide, and January 6th was a real case because the rioters really didn't take out that many police officers. More police officers took their own lives after the event. The event was so traumatic to those officers involved in that life or death fight to live or protect and, help their fellow officers out. What they went through, the struggle, the fight, was that tough that 3 officers committed suicide. And I remember the one officer gave an after incident kind of interview, and he sounded pretty good. He sounded very level-headed over the incident, how he was affected by it, and talked about it and what they went through. And I said, wow, that's really good. And the next thing I heard, he took his life. I was like, it didn't really, his commentary didn't seem like it was a call for help or he was going through something or was dealing with the PTSD of it at all. But he wound up taking his own life after just, calmly talking about what they went through. So you just never know at what point people are at. Okay, they know, but you don't know. And sometimes you can see the signs and go, oh, we need to get this person help. There's no doubt about it. We got to do something. We got to help this individual. Other times people are quietly, internally fighting themselves, fighting thoughts, having nightmares. And they get to a point where there's no escape for them. And you really hate to see people get to that point. That's what I want to say real quick. Thank you.
Good point. Good point.
Thank you, Rich. All right, gentlemen, it is 4th and lady. It is 4:30 on the dot. Rich,
Yes.
D, if you want to cue up a video for us.
Yeah, I know we usually do a good video, and this is an informational video, if you will. We lost Senator this week. Lindsey Graham out of South Carolina, a place where I got a house. So I guess it's one of my senators, I guess. But here's some information about what happened to his seat that I thought was very interesting. Maybe next week it'll spark some conversation, but let's take a look-see now.
They say America is the land of the free. But who gets to be free? And who gets to inherit power? Lindsey Graham died on a Sunday. By Tuesday, his sister had a crown. No election, no vote, no debate. The governor just handed it down. The senator's sister, the senator's seat. Democracy died in the Carolina heat. You preach it to the world, you sell it overseas, but back home it's just a family tree. She fixed eyes for a living, never ran for a thing. Now she writes the laws that bind you and me. Trump said, great idea. The party said yes. The people of South Carolina, they got what was left. The senator's sister, the senator's seat. Democracy died in the Carolina heat. You preach it to the world, you sell it overseas, but back home it's just a family tree. First woman to represent the state. Funny how progress only comes when it's convenient.
Oops.
Wow. Send me that link, D.
I'm gonna send you the video.
Thank you, sir. Wow. How true.
That was good.
Thank you, everybody, for a great show. I see Donald is back. Donald, I'm gonna let you close us out. And again, we want to. Yeah,
All
you're muted,
all
Donald.
right, listen,
We want to
first of all-
congratulate you. We want to congratulate you on your 20-year anniversary of retirement.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
20 years of pastoring.
Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys for holding out while I couldn't hold out while I'm over here in session. I'm still over here, but I figured I'd catch you guys and close out in prayer. I wanted one of my friends to close us out in prayer, but they're looking at me like I'm crazy. They say they don't know y'all. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But thank you guys so much. I don't even know what took place. I couldn't hear anything because I had everything off. But thank you. Let us pray. God, our fathers, in the precious name of Jesus, we do come. We thank you, dear God, for being with us even on today. We ask that God, you continue to bless roll call, bless our communities, bless our police, bless those who are sworn to protect us. We pray to God for our family members, wherever they are. We pray to God you will keep them and cover them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 All right, so I'm gonna sign us off Facebook, and y'all can go ahead and do what y'all want to do at that point.